Good afternoon, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here with United Countries Lifestyle Properties, Maine. Welcome to a beautiful part of Piscataquis County. What I'm going to show you here today is over 300 acres of land that completely surrounds a remote trout pond out here in the middle of the woods. So stick around. We're going to take a long walk on this property here today, look at the pond, some of the timber, the road frontage, the interior roads. Let's go. Folks, before we jump on the land, let's talk about our location. We're located in the town of Kingsbury Plantation today, and we're in Piscataquis County, like I said earlier. This town was actually purchased by Judge Sanford Kingsbury back in 1833. He bought the whole town for $4,000. Boy, I wish we were around then buying land. He created a couple mills here in the town on Kingsbury Pond, and the town kind of grew around that from there. Those are long gone now. The town is basically a small plantation here of about 28 people. So it's a very rural part of Maine, pretty quiet location, and one of the smallest towns and lowest tax rates you're going to find anywhere in the state. Where exactly is Kingsbury Plantation? Well, we're halfway in between the little village of Abbott and the town of Bingham on Route 16 is where Kingsbury is. 15 miles to Abbott, 16 miles to Bingham. The county seat of Dover-Foxcroft is about 27 miles east of us here, and that's a little over a half hour's drive. That is home to the Whoopie Pie Festival that's held there annually in June. Kind of a cool event. We'll talk about the culture in this area. Somerset County, we're right on the county line here in Kingsbury, and the town of Skowhegan, which is the county seat, is a little over 30 miles from here. Skowhegan's home to the oldest running agricultural fair in the United States. Moosehead Lake in the town of Greenville, 36 miles north of us here, a little over a half-hour drive to that as well. And that's home to Moosehead Lake, the largest lake in the state of Maine. And it's also home to the Seaplane Fly-In that's held there every year in September. Pretty cool area of the state. There's a lot going on each side of us here, but this is in the center, is very quiet, not a lot of traffic. If you're coming here from the big city, Boston is 225 miles roughly, I think, and less than a 4-hour drive. City of Portland is only about 2.5 hours from here. So actually it's about 2 hours drive from here. Easy to get to this location, even though we're in a nice wilderness setting. Whew. We've made our way down off the trail where we left our snowmobiles, and we should have brought our snowshoes today. Unlike other places I've been to in Maine, Kingsbury's got a fair amount of snow over the top of my boots. This is the centerpiece of this property. This 309 plus or minus acres of timberland completely surrounds Little Pond, which is the pond you see behind me. I've scaled this pond out with using some aerial photography, and I think it's around 9.5 acres. And there's no cabins on it, no camps, there's no out parcels. This property completely surrounds this for almost 4,000 feet. I have no idea about the fishery here. I do know that the outlet flows into Kingsbury Pond and into Kingsbury Stream, and there are brook trout in Kingsbury Stream. So there's a good chance you might find some trout up in here. And I don't know anybody who's ever fished this. It's not listed on the state's site for ponds because it's less than 10 acres, I think, and it's the state doesn't do a lot of management on ponds less than 10 acres. So this could be your place to discover. What a great place to find moose wading around the wetland edges of this pond. It's completely surrounded by spruce and eastern white pine. It's a beautiful setting. So this is the highlight of the trip, but we wanted to show it to you early on. We are going to try to get to the stream today. Even though we didn't bring the snowshoes, we're going to see if we can find the outlet under all this snow. We've stepped in off the pond a little ways now into the forest, and what you see in here is mostly softwood. The forester has broken down the acreage here at about 276 acres of wooded land, 27 acres in pond, wetlands, and streams, and about 6 acres in roads. The lot, according to the forester, is about 90% hardwood. The mixed wood that we find is in and around the pond. As you can see behind me, we got some nice spruce in here and some eastern white pine with a few hardwoods scattered in amongst that. But the majority of this lot is hardwood ridges. As I said, folks, we're up here in the ridges. The elevations on this site are getting up there between 900 and 1,160 feet above sea level. Nice rolling land. The pond in the center of the lot, as you can see on the topo map we've got up here on the screen. The soils on the property are almost entirely some version of a T-loss soil or T-loss mixed with other soils. And that's a soil type that varies in drainage. It's fairly well drained up on the ridges, but as we come down the side slopes, the lower land, and obviously around the wetlands and the ponds, it's going to be not as well drained. It's a great soil for growing trees and wildlife, but for farming, definitely not. This isn't anything you'd ever want to think about trying to convert to farmland. This soil type here, T-loss, likes to grow certain trees pretty well. Red and white spruce do well in this, as well as balsam fir. And then your yellow birches, your white birch, and red maple will do all right on this soil. And in places we're seeing some pretty nice white pine. We'll show you some of those out on the main road. Speaking of the road, this property has about a half a mile of frontage on a town road or a county road. The road is plowed right to the property line. So if you wanted to use this property year-round, you certainly could. It is an off-grid location. There are a number of homes out on Campbell Road that are lived in, and the people that live there live completely off the grid. So we're going to walk back out from the pond area here to our snowmobiles parked on the trail, and we're going to see if we can locate the outlet of this pond and show you some of that. Well, we found the stream, the outlet that comes out of Little Pond. And unfortunately, it is a moving stream, but it's frozen solid right now. So you'll have to see this in the summertime, spring, summer, fall. But right now, it's just a block ice. You can hear the water running underneath it. So there is water moving, you just can't see it. This is going to be a series of little plunge pools as this outlet runs down through the property. It's running north, heading towards the confluence of Kingsbury Stream. And Kingsbury Stream's a really pretty stream. I'll tell you a little bit about that area in a minute. We are now located here on the northern boundary line where the access road that comes through the property actually meets the boundary. And let me show you where we're at right now. We've got our map here, and if you ask, we'll send you this map. But right here, the blue dot on the north line is where the road meets the line, and it's all blazed orange, so you can't miss it when you get here, which is really a nice feature to have. Hey, if you're a snowmobile enthusiast, folks, here's a really cool feature. This road that comes through our property about 1/4 mile north of the boundary line, we come right onto a groomed snowmobile trail, and this trail goes west to Bingham, east back towards Greenville and Abbott. What a nice feature. If you like snowmobiling, it's not right on the property, but you could off trail ride to get here, which is kind of nice. We're going to go back up on the lot and show you some of the road system that this property has to offer. Well, we're over here on the west side of Little Pond now, and this property has about 1.5 miles of interior roads, which this is the west side of the pond. What a nice spot this would be. This is a pretty well protected pond by the town of Kingsbury Plantation. This is all zone resource protection to try to protect the water quality here. This is high quality wading bird habitat and moose habitat. But at 250 feet, and we're probably a little over that right here, we got a nice knoll on this west side of the pond. I can see the pond down through the trees, so I know we're close to it. This would be a great spot for a little cabin out here in the middle of the woods. There's another spot on the south end of the pond that looked pretty good. One over on the north side, on the northeast side. All kinds of places you might locate a building here, but this would be one of them. We're over here on the east side road now, and this is another excellent opportunity. If you didn't want to be on the pond or maybe have a second cabin, we got some amazing mountain views out here behind us. We're looking kind of northeasterly towards Greenville and the Appalachian Mountains on their way over towards Mount Katahdin. I don't think you can see Katahdin from here. I cannot see it. Although maybe, yeah, actually I might be able to see it. You'll have to look at the topo map, see if you got a line of sight, but I think it is right here to the northeast of us. So again, we have another improved road on each side of the main access road. So now we're going to go back out. We'll show you Campbell Road and some of the timber out there and some of that half-mile of frontage on that road. Okay, we're out here on Campbell Road now, and the beginning of the property, the road is plowed to. We're going to stop there. We'll wrap up the video when we get back to the truck and the trailer. But I wanted to show you this spot right here. We got some really nice tall eastern white pine right here along the road. And if you wanted to build out here, this would be an ideal spot for it as well. And I'm guessing because of the pine, we might have even drier soil up here on the peak of this hill. But boy, what a beautiful property. What a beautiful day we've had to be out here. Let's talk about what else you can do nearby. 2.6 miles from the property is Kingsbury Pond and Mayfield Pond. And those two ponds are about 390 acres and 140 acres respectively. Kingsbury's over 60 feet deep. Mayfield Pond is over 40 feet deep. There's trout, salmon, perch. Nice place to take the kids fishing. 2.5 miles to the boat landing right from this property. If you want to go on a little bit longer trip with your boat, 36 miles away to the boat landing in Greenville on Moosehead Lake. Moosehead Lake is the crown jewel of freshwater in New England. Nearly 75,000 surface acres, and it's almost 250 feet deep. It's got some of the best cold water species fishing in the state of Maine that you can access quite easily by paved state roads. Beautiful part of the state. You go up around the west side to Rockwood, take a drive over to Jackman. The Kennebec River is 16 miles away, and that's very well known in Maine as one of the best whitewater rafting and kayaking adventures you're going to find in the state. That river is also a beautiful river for fly fishing, for landlocked salmon, rainbow trout. There's some brown trout in the Solon Bingham area. You know, it's just a wonderful resource. It's the longest river in Maine that's totally within our state boundary. So beautiful river. You probably heard of the Kennebec, but if you haven't, you got to check it out while you're up here. So we're going to pack our stuff up here, get back out to the trailer, load up, and we'll wrap up the video and give you the price and everything out there. Thanks for taking the tour with us today here in Kingsbury Plantation. Before I wrap the video up, don't forget to like and share this video with some of your friends, and subscribe to our channel by clicking on that notifications bell at the bottom of the screen. Let's talk about what we got here again. 309 plus or minus acres, Kingsbury Plantation, Maine. We've got all the frontage around Little Pond, 1.5 miles of interior road, 1/2 mile of road frontage on the county road. The asking price on this property is $399,900, and the taxes are in tree growth. They're just $253 a year for last year. This is one of the lowest tax rates, just over $4 per thousand. It's one of the cheapest places in the state to buy land. If you need more information, give me a call at 800-286-6164. We'll send you a property package on this. It's a beautiful property. Come check it out with me today.